You're watching the Fox 5 Morning News at 9.
So a lot of people are observing Lent, which means on Friday, meat is a no-go. So we're going to make a meatless meal. We've got Debbie, Spice It Up, Debbie Kornberg here to talk all about, oh my gosh, stuffed peppers.
Yes.
Okay, what are you making here? How do we go meatless? Because I would have made these and I would have put ground beef in there with cheese.
I have an alternative.
Okay, great. All right, take me through your recipe today. What are we making?
Sure. So Lent obviously is an observance, 40 days from Ash Wednesday to the Saturday night before Easter, and some people want to be a little intentional with what they're eating and go meatless. So we are actually doing a plant-based meat. Nowadays, it's so easy to be plant-based.
Very true. Very true.
And you can still feel like you're getting the meat, even though you're not.
Sort of like ground beef, but it might need a little flavor, right?
Yes. So first thing, onions always add flavor.
Okay.
And I'm using bell peppers. I'm going to turn on the stove.
Okay.
Let's see if, oh good, it turned on. And we're going to heat that up a little bit. And what you want to do is take about 10 ounces of onions, cook them down in some olive oil.
Okay.
And let that go.
Super easy.
Once those are cooked down, you can add some key ingredients here. We have beautiful yellow turmeric, which is pungent.
Yum.
Can't go wrong with that, so I'm going to add some of that in there, about a teaspoon.
Now, do you always add everything to the onions first? Because I noticed you haven't put this in yet.
Yes.
Okay. Does that help?
Yes.
Because they kind of absorb the flavor.
They absorb the flavor, and you want to heat up the spices a little bit. It'll bring out the aromatics.
Okay.
This is Baharat spice.
Okay, that's a new one. You bring in some beautiful spices here. May I smell? Here, I'm gonna take this one.
Yeah,
Is
go
that
for
one?
it.
Okay.
So Baharat is, so by the way, we're making dolmas.
Is this cinnamon? It's kind of cinnamon.
Yeah, so think of this as a savory pumpkin spice.
Okay.
So it's got all the flavors of pumpkin spice plus black pepper, cumin, and coriander.
Okay, yum.
So it makes it savory. When you add warm flavors like cinnamon and allspice, nutmeg, cardamom, it creates a really hearty dish, even if you're meatless.
Yeah.
Or you choose to add meat. So this is Baharat. Baharat is Arabic. It literally means spices. And in Turkey, all spices are called Baharat. And also this 7-spice blend.
Perfect.
So we're going to add a teaspoon of that.
It means you have more space in your cabinet. You just have that one.
Well, that's the secret to all of my flavors, is like just use a blend instead of having a pantry filled with everything. So we'll pop that back there. So we are making dolmas. I don't know if we said that at the outset, but just in case.
Okay, and what is a dolma? Just a stuffed pepper?
It's a stuffed anything. Oftentimes people think of it as
a grape leaf.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, which are so delicious.
Yeah, so grape, they're usually with rice and some flavors.
And you even did a tomato quart out here. I've never cooked a tomato like that.
It's one of my favorites, actually. I prefer it over the bell peppers, but bell peppers are very traditional.
I feel like the bell peppers kind of would keep their shape a little bit better. This one tougher to do?
I mean, well, there it is.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It survived the drive here and everything.
Good job. You know what you're doing, apparently. Okay, so what else do we add to this dish?
So once this is going, we are going to go ahead and add the meatless, plant-based.
I'm not going to lie. Some of these products scare me just a little bit. Some of the meatless products.
Yeah.
Because you really need to turn it over, look at the label, make sure that there's,
I agree.
You know, things that you're not allergic to in it, because it is a lot of processed, you know,
I try to
items happening in there.
I go with the pea protein base, not the soy without wheat. So that's the one I lean into. So you're gonna cook this just like you would ground beef until it becomes brown. While this is going, I'm gonna just come over here for a second, because we're shortly gonna add a half a cup of rice.
I said, what is this? What's this science project that you have going on here? What are you doing?
I'm cleaning my rice.
Okay.
So if you notice, the water's cloudy, but it's all the starch from the rice.
Okay.
This is a basmati rice. I like to use what's called old rice.
All right.
So it has been aged a little bit. It's really aromatic, floral notes to it.
Is that just for the taste? I don't really clean my rice. I don't soak it or anything. Is that bad?
It's a dealer's choice.
Okay. I'm like, is there anything wrong with my rice?
I would, if the next time you make rice, if you've got 5 minutes or even 3 minutes, rinse it like 4 times. Just like this, dump it out, hold your hand over, do it a couple times.
Okay.
And when you cook the rice, the grains are really clean looking.
All right.
Because the starch isn't around it. Think of Japanese rice, the short grain. It is it looks starchier.
You learn something new every day.
Yes.
How do you flavor the rice, or are you just doing it plain?
So the rice is actually going to go in here.
Oh,
and we're going to pretend that this is all cooked. And I'm going to take my clean rice, and I'm going to dump this in, mix this up, and I'm going to add 1 cup of water.
Got it.
And this is going to cook for 15 minutes, covered, but my lid is way over there.
And that was the uncooked rice?
This is uncooked rice. You would cover this and let it cook for 15 minutes. And while that's happening, I have a can of tomato sauce, vegetable broth, 1 cup. Add that in, mix it, and then we're going to add some spice and leaf vegan broth base, about a tablespoon. So we'll put that in and mix this. And what's going to happen is you're going to line the base of your dish with a little bit of this. And if you have that core, grab one that's already cored out.
All right.
Yeah. We're going to put a little bit in there. Perfect. And what I have here is some that is already done.
So smart. It's like you've done this before.
It's my little, actually today's my 8-year anniversary.
We love having you here,
It's
Debbie.
such a
I hope
treat.
everybody for the last 8 years has learned beautiful recipes from you, and now they're a little spicier than they were before.
That's right. So you basically would just fill these in, cover this, bake it at 350 for an hour.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and then you will have beautiful dolmas just like that, ready to go.
I'm like, who's gonna watch this bake for an hour in my house while I get things done?
You're gonna set a timer and walk away from the oven, and it's perfectly okay.
I'm my house for a full hour, Debbie.
Well, how old are your kids now? Are they old enough to?
7 and 9. They're the ones I'm carting around to all the sports right now. Yeah. But no, I love this idea. I really do. Maybe it's a good weekend dish where like I've got some time.
You could stuff it, you know, earlier in the day and then just pop it in the oven later when they're doing homework and getting the bath done and all of that.
I know. My mind was already thinking of the slow cooker idea. I'm like, could I put these in a slow cooker?
Oh, yeah. Why not? That's a good idea.
Me every time. All right, take a look at these spices really quick because I want people to know more about you. Maybe they haven't been watching you for 8 years. Maybe this is
Where
their
have you
first
been,
time.
people?
Where do we find all of your beautiful spices?
Spiceandleaf.com. I'm available on Amazon. You can have it tomorrow. Maybe later today. Who knows? Sometimes you can like order it and it's boom, it's there.
Oh my gosh, it's starting to smell so good in here.
Yeah.
I'm putting all that information up on our website.
And the recipe is also there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Look at, she's such a pro. She cooks. She does all this. We'll have to clean. We'll clean for you since you're doing everything else. So that's all good. Click on the scene on top, you guys. The Fox 5 Morning News. We will be right back.